Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I am your host, Eric Smith, and today I am talking about Damien, Omen II, by whom? Joseph Howard. His name's not on the front cover. I had to check the spine. This copy is from Signet, it looks like, and this is a novelization of the movie Damien, Omen II, and it is also the second book in the current book bundle that I am reading, which is books that are number twos. The first one was Psycho 2. I just recorded that review, and I don't think I said any of the book bundle stuff in that video. So my apologies for that. But this is the second book in this 5-book bundle that I'm reading of books that are number twos. Damien, Omen II. I don't think I can read the back cover copy here. So, your nutshell. After the events of The Omen, Damien, it's 7 years later. Damien, it's around his 13th birthday. He has been adopted by his father's brother, Richard Thorne. And I believe Richard is the brother and not the father. Yes. And he's got a brother who's about his same age. Their birthdays are very close together, so they always celebrate together. He's in a military academy. He's about to become a man at 13. That's when he's going to come into his power. If there's anybody who doesn't know, spoilers, if you're not familiar with the Omen in any way, shape, or form, Damien's the Antichrist. Hope I didn't spoil too much for you. Anyway, this is about him sort of coming into his power and the forces that may or may not be opposing him. That's essentially the nutshell. For the too long didn't watch folks, I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. I really liked it. Now, I may be biased because I really, really like stuff, fictional stuff, that deals with Satan, deals with the Antichrist, and the idea of the protagonist of our story being the Antichrist just tickles me. I love it. And I have all 5 books in this series because I like it that much. Don't know how those books are going to be. But anyway, there is an author's note, or just a note, that says, in the original novel, The Omen, the first name of Ambassador Thorne was given as Jeremy. That would be Damien's father. In the film, his name was changed to Robert. As the film Damien Omen II maintains Robert, this book does the same. That was a weird thing to mispronounce. So the character's name was changed. In the book, it was Jeremy. In the film, it was Robert. It is left Robert in this because it's left Robert in the movie. And this is just a novelization of the movie. I believe that the original book and the movie, both written by David Seltzer at the same time. So it wasn't so much that it was a novelization of the movie, but the same person wrote both. And then, as the movie's being made, changes, edits, rewrites, all that sort of thing. Whereas this is, I believe, just a straight up novelization of the movie. What we have is, I basically gave you the nutshell, which covers most of the stuff. Damien, we actually have a cold open that starts 7 years previous, so around the time of the end of the first movie. And we have an archaeologist who knew what was going on with Damien and sort of some of the events of the first movie. He's trying to pass that knowledge on to somebody else, so that he's not the only one that knows this stuff. And some stuff happens. Then we jump ahead 7 years. We're introduced to the Thorns, Damien's adopted parents and brother, and this crotchety old aunt and some other characters. We learn, what Damien's life has been like, that he and his brother are at military school. And there's a new platoon commander, or whatever he's called, played by Lance Henriksen in the movie, which I did not remember at all. Love Lance Henriksen. But so we're introduced to where Damien is in his life, and then all the crazy, creepy stuff starts happening. Can you hear the dog going nuts? Because there's somebody outside the door. People coming home. So anyway, that's what's going on. Of course, I'm trying to avoid any types of spoilers. It's well written, and it's been so long since I've seen the movie, and I'm going to get back to that in a second. Something about that, but it's been so long since I've seen the movie, I really can't say if there was anything added. The best I can say as far as that goes is the author does get into the heads of the characters a little bit, which of course you don't get in a movie unless you have a voiceover. These are the types of things I say anytime I'm talking about a novelization. And the best novelizations build on the story, go deeper into the characters, in my opinion. And I think Joseph Howard sticks to the movie, but he does get into the heads a little bit of the characters, so we do get little bits of motivation and things outside of what we would have to figure out in the movie. We get some thought processes, so I like that. Now, there was a point while I was reading this where I was starting to doubt whether or not I had actually seen this movie, because there was only one scene that I could remember from the movie, and I kept getting further and further into the book without that scene happening. And I was like, I don't know. Did I not see? Is that scene from a completely different movie, and I just assumed it was Damien, Omen II? For some reason. But eventually it did happen. So my mind was put to rest. And there was a scene earlier where I'm like, I'm certain I've seen that scene. But it's always, especially nowadays, you can see bits and pieces of something without seeing the whole thing. A lot of the videos, I won't say a lot, some of the videos I watch on YouTube show clips from movies. And some of them are movies I haven't seen. So I've seen plenty of clips from a movie that I've never actually watched. And I was starting to feel that way. But the scene I remembered showed up in all its glory and put my mind at ease. But I have a box set of all the Omen movies, including the remake. So I'm going to have to rewatch all of those, because it has been a long, long time since I've seen this one. And I've never seen 3. It is just the 3, right? And the remake? But I know there's 5 books. But I think 4 and 5 are original novels. I guess I'll find out. Feel free to let me know in the comments below. But anyway, it's well written. It's straightforward. I mean, it tells you the movie, but goes a little more in depth by getting into the heads of the characters. As I said, I am biased because I love something with the Antichrist. And this particular book has some photos in the middle. Damien, Omen II. If you're a fan of the Omen, or just a fan of the Antichrist, don't feel like watching the movie, but you're going to take the time to read a book, I recommend it. 4 out of 5 stars. I really liked it. And there you go. That's Damien, Omen II. Question for the video. What are your thoughts on the Omen series? How many of the movies have you seen, if you've seen any? How many of the books have you read, if you've read any? As I've already stated, I'm a fan of the Antichrist. I've only seen the first 2 movies. and I do have all 5 books, but I've only read the first 2 so far. But I don't know. There's just something about books in which Satan is a real influence and the Antichrist is a real presence. I guess that's the best way to put it. I'm not sure how much is out there. You know, you've got the Omen stuff. I could recommend Good Omens by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. One of those authors is a bit problematic at the moment, depending on your thoughts on what's going on right now, which is why I say I could recommend it. It's a good book. If you separate the art from the artist, it's a good book. It's a hilarious book, and it's about the Antichrist, amongst other things. I can say it's a good book, still not want to support the creator anymore, which is why I say I could recommend it. It's up to you whether or not you want to support the creator by buying the book or reading the book. But yeah, I dig stuff with Satan, with the Antichrist. I believe it's Garth Ennis who had a comic book called Wormwood, which is about the Antichrist as an adult on Earth doing his thing, which was a really fun book. I think it was either a number of miniseries or a number of one-shots, and I have some of it. I don't know if I have everything. I have one book that's either a one-shot or a collection of the original miniseries or something. But it's your typical Garth Ennis type of story, so likely to offend a lot of people, but my kind of thing. And that whole Satan or the Antichrist on Earth, I just dig it. That's why I have the box set of the movies. That's why I bought all the books. So what about you? How do you feel about this? I know there are people out there that feel it's real and don't want to read this sort of thing. I've actually, a couple of people at my new job, we were talking about horror movies just a little bit, and a couple of people said they will not watch exorcism movies, which not the same as Antichrist stuff, but still satanic, I suppose. Will not watch exorcism movies because that will bring bad things into your home. Of course, I think that's absolutely ridiculous. But as an atheist, I don't believe in any of that stuff anyway. So I understand if people aren't going to read or watch Omen stuff because they think it's going to cause bad things to happen. But have you watched the movies? Have you read the books? What do you think? And if you have other good Satan on Earth or the Antichrist on Earth stories to recommend, please let me know in the comments below. And just so you know, if you don't watch my weekly wrap-ups and stuff, I did, to maybe stop a certain recommendation, I did just read The Devil's Advocate by Andrew Niederman. That review will be coming up soon. I believe I recorded it last week. So that review will pop up in the next week or so. But you don't need to recommend The Devil's Advocate because I just read it. But anything else, let me know in the comments below. If you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here on the Low Budget Review Show. Please like, share, and subscribe, all the usual YouTube stuff. If you'd care to follow me on other social media, I'll have links for my Instagram and Bluesky in the description below. That's all I've got. This has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Eric Smith. And until next time, read more books.